Iron Stories, Episode 27, Kaivan, Part 2. Welcome back to another episode of Iron Stories. The story so far. Catania and Chebran are helping Nesana in finding a lost sword that she lent to Kaivan in the Holdfast Sparrow, an old resting place, an old tomb for San the Bloodied centuries ago. They ventured into the tomb. They ventured deep into the tomb and they found a hoard or a vault full of gold and jewels and spoils of war, spoils of the past relicts. And then they ventured even deeper down into this tomb, and there Chebran found lying in a corner, clutching the silver sword that they were set out to find for Nesana, Kaivan. And as Chebran took the weapon, the silver sword, from the dead body of Kaivan, he felt for the first time a bit more of a relief, a bit maybe saner or happier than he was before, as some of the corruption or some of the beginnings of corruption maybe is helped or whisked away by this sword, by this silver sword. But as the silver is protecting him from this malicious influence, it is taking hold of Chebran or Kaivan, finally. And as the corruption takes hold of the dead body, of this shriveled body, it gets back to life, and with a horrible scream and a horrible wail is attacking Chebran, Nesana, and Catania as well. Chebran, I think, is surprised again by this wail that just came out, and I guess what I will do is, for all of them, it makes sense the most is to endure stress here, because they are in the direct path, so to speak, for this whale. So I would say that they all suffer endure stress, which is bad for all of them, but I think mostly for Chebran, as he is already quite stricken, quite he's quite already stressed out from what he endured so far, and even being an indirect path of the thing. So let's roll off the endure stress for all of them. So Chebran rolled here a miss, but he can also as well roll or burn momentum to get a weak hit, which I think is a valid path here. So the sword is helping him out to press on here, to circumvent this horrible scream that he just went on and is shaking his head, and from this deafening scream that just came very near from him. But he's disheartened, I would say, at least. I mean, he's only on Spirit on 2, so he is currently very shaken, and he feels the stress, even though the Silver Sword is helping him a bit to get a relief as well. So next up, I would guess it's Katanya's turn. Katanya as well is shaking it off, even though she rolled really well on her action score. She as well is half surprised, and she was witnessing the whole thing on the spiritual level as well. It's maybe why she is more, or she's taking this stress maybe on a different level, not from the wail that she just heard, this horrifying wail that normally would put the chill into the bones itself. She witnessed everything on the more spiritual level. She saw the light, the spirit of Kaivan being snuffed out by the corruption as Chebron has taken the sword. She sees it more on a spiritual level here, and that's what's shaking her, not the wail itself. It's this loss of a life, or loss of a spirit, so to speak, loss of a soul, that's more unnerving for her than the scream itself. And last off, we have Nasana. They all roll consistently today, I guess. So yeah, that's a weak hit for her as well. So she as well presses on, and spiritually or stress wise, she is as well knackered as Chebron. She's also only on 3, which again makes sense because she endured also a bit of stress from her mask, from using the shadows to move around. So they press on. So they take this thing or they take the whole thing a bit. They are half surprised, but they press through the wail. They press through this bone-chilling event, and Chebron, as he's holding the sword and as he is has experienced or has seen Nasana using it to deal with this skeleton or this bone horde at the beginning or in the world. He uses it as well. It's not his preferred weapon, so he's maybe not the best with it, so it's hindering him a bit in his combating thing, but he still charges in. I mean, he's closest, I guess, anyway, so he enters in combat against the this terrible foe here in front of him. So he rolled an opportunity here, which is good. Which means he gets momentum anyway, and he gets initiative. And I would say this is the thing is screaming out his wail, and he's clutching the sword even harder as this bone-chilling wail is encompassing him. But he's shrugging it off. Maybe the sword is as well helping him on a more spiritual level to fight this off, and in this bolstering himself, in this readying of himself, he is using this momentum, this initiative that he has, or this maybe even this anger, or this this strength or this power that he feels in that, he's using that as well to just strike at the foe immediately for that as well. So Gibran uses this strike, but the enemy or a foe in front of him, he's also chomping, leaping against him, and maybe a bit half blinded, well, not blinded, but surprised or disheartened by the scream, is wailing, or not wailing, but it's like slicing across, and he's not that proficient with using a sword, so it's a bit unnatural for him. It's also, the sword seems to be lighter than it looks. He expected it to be much heavier, so his swing is maybe not as focused, not as even he couldn't like put all his strength behind that swing as well. So he's still hitting, but maybe not hitting as much as he would have liked, as much as he would have suspected. So he he swings into the foe and hits. He also sees that it hurt the foe itself, but he is expected to do much more damage. But I guess that's as much that he can get, and the foe, not just Kaivan. Let's use his actual name since I have one. Looks as Gibran swings and hits him and hit him into the shriveled flesh that just clings barely onto the bones, and is covered by this tattooed cloth, and looks up at Gibran, and Gibran can just see two black eyes in front of him. There is no pupils. He cannot discern between the pupil and the eye itself. It's just all completely black within the eyes. So then I would say it's as well. I would say then it's Nisana's turn. Nisana here is she is the nimble one. She's the more quick one. She's the one that uses the darkness, uses the shadow to her advantage as well. So she sees the opportunity, or she sees the opportunity that Kaivan may be opened here. She sees that the Kaivan, this husk, seems to be concentrated on Gibran at the moment. So she uses this opportunity as well for her to move into the shadow, to move maybe alongside, to the side, or maybe behind Kaivan to strike him. So she is as well entering the fray here. So Nisana uses here shadow to move into position as well, and she is tapping again into the shadows, into the darkness of of her mask, and is melding into the shadows and moving around. And she's using this to shift herself along the walls a bit, and get into a better position behind or next to Kaivan. And as she sees, he is currently locked with Gibran as well. She is taking that as well to strike at her foe, now that she thinks, or that she sees that that she is in a better position here. So she positioned herself better. So she swings her other sword and that she still has, and swings against Kaivan here. And Nesana swings her sword, and Chebran can just see from the corner of his eyes, as he's locked into combat with Kaivan as well, is just seeing a flash coming from the corner, let's say from the left, that is just like jumping into his field of view here, where before he was just completely unaware. She just flashes in. As he was swinging, he dropped the torch onto the floor. There's just a flickering flame on the floor, illuminating the whole thing, and he can just see the flash, the reflection of the other silver sword that is held by Nesana, swinging it against Kaivan as well, and hits it. She's far more proficient, far more precise on how and when and where to hit, as he saw before with the bone horde, that she's far more able to hit the enemy in a precise way, in a precise point, and is able to hit it. Like she's swinging on the back, and where she's just tearing through the cloth here, maybe tearing through a bit of the armor that Kaivan was wearing as when he was still alive, and tearing through the flesh that is on the back of this creature, and it screeches out and arcs his back as the pain flows through this creature, through Kaivan, and a thick ooze is trickling down on the open wound where the silver blade cut through the body, but not a speckle, not anything is on the silver blade. It's just as pristine and as clean as it was on the first day, and as it was made. So it's just cutting through cleanly, and every blood or ichor that would normally cover a sword when you hit something, it just flows off of it. It just cleans it basically itself as well. And she uses the same momentum to just strike again. And a second swing comes down from Nesana. She's maybe she's using her one hand. On her right hand she has a sword and swings across, and with her other hand she's with her dagger that she still has, a silver dagger or silver shorter sword that she wields. She's trying to stab against Kaivan, but now that the first swing hit him completely unexpected, because she just came out from the shadow and inflicted harm against him across the back. Now that and he with that, he is now more aware that there's somebody else still here. There's somebody more than just a person in front of him, and he swiftly tries to get out of the way, tries to dodge whatever is coming against him as well, and sees the flashing dagger again. Just the poor light that is in here just reflects off all this silverware, so to speak, and he can see as well as Chebron, a second a flimmer, a second flash of the silver that is now trying to stab him as well, and he's able to dodge it, and it just across the arm. Another wound tears up a bit of his armor and clothes. It's not as deep as the cut on his back, but it's still hurting somewhat. And with that, Nesana lost a bit the moment of surprise, lost a bit the opportunity to strike, and loses her initiative that she has against the creature itself. All the while, Catania is just is still lost or concentrating within the spirit world. I would say the spirit spiritual world. She has seen the Kaivan, the soul of Kaivan, the spirit of Kaivan being snuffed out, being effectively gone from this world. She's thinking on that. She's contemplating on that, and she's in this vast darkness that she is now in. She just closes her eyes and thinks about is holding her dagger, the dagger wherein the spirit lies, the spirit of Themon, her lost love. And she is concentrating on that loss that she endured, and humming in this state. The runes on her dagger begin to glow as the keen that is inscribed or infused within the dagger is getting stronger. So she uses her keen. Oh boy. So she rolled a complication, a double 10 on the challenge dice. So she is, I guess she's completely out of it. She just stands there, eyes closed, just humming, and her little song, her little keen. The runes glowing, but she's completely lost in the world of the spirit. She's completely lost on what is happening around her. She has no idea, and so she is just there humming, nothing aware. She can see. Well, she can't see any spirits here, but she can feel the pain and suffering that went on in here as all these people, or all these warriors and soldiers and that lived before, that fought alongside Zahn in this blood wars. She can feel the anger. She can feel the need for power, the same need that she can feel from Kaivan, that it's just that has taken hold of him. This need of empowering themselves to be more powerful than everybody else, to stand above anybody, just to be the best, to be the strongest, to be the most powerful, to be the king, the emperor, a god amongst men, so to speak. She can just feel this need for power above all else. And she can also feel what is going on in Kaivan now that this power or this corruption has taken hold of him. It is to get more powerful, yes, but the time that all these spirits have, or these people that were imprisoned here, they also want to make others suffer. They want to make others suffer as they have. They feel unrightfully imprisoned here, so they think what they did is all good and well. It's in their nature to get power, and they feel or they felt betrayed by the others that imprisoned them here, that they cannot gain this power. And for the days and weeks that they were in here before they eventually probably died out of hunger or maybe infighting or whatever, they now want to take revenge. They want to make others suffer as they have. They want to make them feel what it is to lose all the power, or to be no longer powerful, to be at the mercy of anything in the end. And this is what probably fuels this corruption, is to make others suffer, to have a need for power but not being able to gain it, to retain it as well, to have betrayed by others. And Catania is just overwhelmed by this. She is not holding any of this. She's not holding a silver sword, so she's not protected by this feelings. She's not protected by this beginning of corruption that is encroaching as well on her. This place can sense another spirit, another living thing in here that is not protected by silver, and it's encroaching onto her, slowly filling her mind with these things. She just stands catatonic there and is out of it, while the others are still engaged with Kaivan as well. In the meantime, Jabran and Nesana are still engaged with the Kaivan, and they now lost their opportunity, or their moment of surprise, so to speak, and are trying to still fight against this husk in front of them, not being helped by Catania in any case. And I think they don't know yet what has happened to her, or what is happening to her as well. She just is completely out of the picture. They are focused. They have tunnel vision against the foe in front of them. So they just start to fight still against the thing. And now that the husk, or Kaivan, is aware of them both, they have to as well try to move or to dodge the attacks that Kaivan is dashing out at them as well, and as well at the same time trying to get a hold of the opportunity to attack him as well. And I think here Gibran, just with his stature, is trying to, because he's not precise or as proficient with the sword, he can at least uses it to maybe give a advantage maybe to Nasana. He has seen how she fights. He has seen that this is maybe more helpful, like, if he is trying to so this is maybe a bit more so he is using maybe more his presence, his hulking presence to secure an advantage for Nasana to strike. He is less the one that does the precise strike. He's more the brute that just does some strikes to maybe decapitate or not decapitate. That's maybe a bit too harsh, but to bring the foe out of balance into a worse position, just having him misstep, etc., just to give anybody else an advantage in attacking. He knows he's not, and Kaivan itself is also like moving maybe with a nimbleness that he's not really comfortable with, especially with a sword in hand. Of course, he could draw his axe, but he guesses the sword is probably, at the moment, he feels the calmness and the benefits of the sword. So he thinks it's probably better to keep it. It seems to help me not only against this foe, but also it helps me against the place itself. So it's probably better to have that advantage as well, and not throw it away for that. So yeah, he's trying to just stand in front of Kaivan, taking the gaze off from Asana and more onto him, so that he focuses more onto him, and he can probably shrug off a bit more of the aggressiveness of the foe than he thinks Nasana does, and he then just thinks maybe more in a tactical sense. She's probably more capable of hitting right now. She's more she is more precise with this weapon than I am. So I maybe give it to her. It maybe is a bit against, or it maybe hurts a bit his ego, but he still thinks it's probably better for our survival if I for a short period of time throw away my ego and do what's best in the fight. And he has experience. He's a veteran, so he has a knowledge, or he has a wisdom on him, experience on him, when it's maybe best to go against your own pride, your own ego, and make a decision that is beneficial for your survival. Because when you survive, it's probably, you can still in the end then turn it, then it in like history or in stories that you tell in taverns, etc. You can make it again that you're the hero that came out of it. It's better to come out alive of the whole thing than dead, because if you're dead, your ego and pride doesn't give you anything. When you're alive, you can maybe change the history a bit, that you still get out of it, and it's also helping your ego if you've defeated a foe like that. So he's using just his hulking presence to maybe give Nesana an opportunity, an advantage as well, to fight here. And what a presence he is. He again bolsters his flexes his muscles a bit, and as Kaivan was turning around to face Nesana as she was attacking him, Kaivan is like pushing and shoving with his backhand, with the aid of the silver sword, pushing Kaivan into the other wall from left to right, pushes it against the wall and pins him for a brief moment against the wall, and opening here a counterattack for Nesana and himself as well. So he scored a strong hit here. So Nesana has advantage on her next attack, or has initiative again, and she has +1 on her attack, which she definitely uses here to strike again. I can't end the fight here with that, but I can strike again here. So just the brunt force, and as he's pushing and maybe even like throwing Kaivan against the wall, dust and debris comes off the wall just from the forceful impact that he pushed Kaivan into the wall itself. And Nesana is using that again to swing with her sword, with the silver sword again, against Kaivan here again. And Nesana swings against Kaivan, and as Gibran was pushing Kaivan onto the wall, he's like wiggling and lashing out and trying to get away from the grapple, and as it does so, it slips away, and sees then Nesana swinging against him, and he's using this lashing out motion, this wiggling around, and is then just lashing out with its claws, in where before their hands have been transformed into this claws, sharp nails protruding out of this hand, and it's just lashing out at Nesana, and she's completely as she was still swinging, thinking of herself, well, this is a good thing here, now I can end this. She is swinging completely unaware, and now Kaivan is next to her. He has the opportunity. He sees her striking out and just slashing across her, countering, or basically taking revenge on her, and scratching with his nails into her back as well. So she is suffering here, and she's suffering hard. She's taking 3 harm here. And Nesana screams out as claws bore into her back, into her skin, and she's screaming out, but she's holding on, and pushing away from Kaivan as well. It takes a bit out of her speed and her momentum that she has, but she is biting down tongue. Maybe she bit her tongue, and she's holding on. She feels pain flowing through her body. The adrenaline that she gets, the rush of adrenaline, lets her feel or get through this pain a bit. So she shakes it off, and and she can feel a bit of this warm blood trickling down her back, and Gibran as well can see a bit of this red, thick fluid, so to speak, sickling down the back of her, and he uses and he tries to end the fight here. It's no law. He uses this opportunity, or he uses this time in progress when Kaivan is currently out of is out of concentration or whatever. He is using this time and maybe taking a bit of revenge onto his ally here, and is trying to end the fight here as well. And he is successful in doing so. He is slicing at Kaivan once, whoosh, twice, in a sort of frenzy. What he as he saw Nasana attacked, in a sort of frenzy, he's attacking Kaivan, and at some point, maybe the first, maybe the second, maybe the third slice as he's striking against him, is taking Kaivan completely out of action. And similarly, as he is seen with the bone horror, the bone walker in the vault, it just slices through this body like butter, the silver sword, and not a single speck of this dark ooze that is protruding out of all the wounds that he has inflicted onto it are tarnishing the blade, and it's still as fresh as it was at the first time around. And at one point, Kaivan the rest of the body just sinks down, and darkness, or this fog, this corruptive fog, is just spreading out of it again, similar as it was inhaled in it. It just flows out of it, and as it flows out, they both can see it is flowing out from this cell, as both Gibran and Nasana are in the cell. They can just see it flow out of the cell, and there they can see Catania just standing there, eyes closed, and just holding her dagger in one hand and humming into this small zone, just catatonically, maybe swaying a bit left to right as she's humming there. And Gibran maybe knows a bit on what's happening here, has maybe seen it in the past, and he's getting concerned. And Nasana doubly so, as Nasana sees this fog slowly on the floor creeping towards Catania. And that is probably a good place where we can end this episode. So thank you for listening, and I hope you're listening into the next episode as well. Hear you then.